Hello, everyone. Uh, I don't know if any of my old viewers still watch, even if I had any to begin with, which I didn't have many, but I haven't put an update up for over a year. And so, yeah, there's a lot of catching up to do. Um, but anyway, just a recap. My name is Millie. I am 50 years old. I uh, work in tech. I own my own business. I never had any children. And I say I make a high income because I make twice the median income in the United States on average. But in Mexico, I make like 20 times the average, the median average. Why would I bring up Mexico? Oh my God, it's a foreshadowing. Well, last time I posted, we had just released our software project for 2024. We do one big project a year, and that had just came out, and I made like $46,000 in 2 days after we released that. And I thought everything's back on track and the business is doing good, and maybe I could update every month again. But honestly, things have just gotten worse and worse. And I said, I thought 2024 was a bad year. We were down 6%. 2025 said, hold my beer. You haven't seen anything yet. And it's been a slump. It's just been going down and down. And to uh, emphasize that, look at this. This is the money we make for our big project this year that just came out 60 days ago. We just got our payment from our main vendor, $19,356. And yeah, that's a lot of money, but that is absolute crap. And just to compare, if you look at our project for 2024, in the first 2 days, we made almost $50,000. But for our project of 2025, which was a lot more expensive than the 2024 software project that we put out, we made less than 20,000. And it's my own fault. I really should have canceled when we didn't get it funded the first time that we asked for funding and we had to come back and ask for a lower amount. I should have taken it as a sign. But instead, what I did was dump 25,000 more money into the project to make it the bestest project ever. And it's a huge failure. And it's going to take at least a year to break even if we even are that lucky to do that. Was not a success, and I would be very depressed about this, except the month that this came out, it came out in August, um, and I'd seen signs that it wasn't going to do that well, that everybody was cutting back. Nobody had the money to spend on an expensive software project. Clients were not investing in these sort of things. What is I going to do? Just not put a project out? I still need to pay my staff and, you know, survive. So we still put it out. I should never have put that extra $25,000 into it for the extra features that I thought would excite everybody, but nobody gave a crap about. It was just like, it reminds me of this one video where there's a flood in some either Bangladesh or India or Pakistan. I'm sorry that I don't remember. And people's cars were getting washed away. So some man went up to onto a hill on a cliff over the 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 pass where the gusher was pushing through, and pushed his truck into the pass to try to block it so that no more cars would get swept away, and the truck just sweeps away in the water. And that's how I felt. That was my $25,000 extra that I put into this on top of the $35,000 I had already put into it. So that was really dumb and just total failure. And it's a great project. I think it's probably one of the best we've ever put out, but whatever, that's fine. Um, in August, when we launched and I saw the horrible sales from the day one, uh, I just didn't pay attention to it. I just looked away from it because earlier that month we had signed a contract with a studio in Korea to put out a massive project in 2027. And this project is a guaranteed winner. We already have I don't know if you guys even remember me, but if anybody who's been following or has come across some of my old videos, you know that we do a pre-release sale for our software products and to try to get the funding for the development. And the news is out that we're working with this company in Korea, and everybody that we usually are, all our usual clients are just like trying to get onto the pre-release sale because they want to get custom work by this company that we're working with. This is a company that can't do the sort of stuff that we do on their own and who everybody wants to work with. So um, thank God my programmer saw a tweet from one of their people saying he wanted to do this sort of project and we jumped on it and everything kind of looked up after that because I know that the pre-release sale is going to be a six-figure um, crowdfunding for us. The highest we've ever done before is 87,000 in 2022, but I believe this one is going to be over 300,000. Um, or not. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about or doing anymore because, yeah, I put $25,000 into a software product that just hardly sold at all. But I know that crowdfunding is coming up in January, and I'm very excited about that and trying not to let these past failures get me down. But I'll start in the budget and then I'll go over a bunch of other stuff as we go. I put out a book in 2015 and I'm still getting royalties from Amazon for that. It's about 100, what is it? Since my last video, it's gone down about $100 a month. And I expect it to be nothing soon, but I'm surprised it's still anything after all these years. It's 10 years now that I put that book out, but people are still buying it. So we put out our software product for 2025 in August, and this is the paltry sales. Really disappointing. And I have a crazy tax bill, of course, because I am an American, but I don't live in America anymore. I still live in America, the continent. I no longer live in the United States anymore. I moved to Mexico. I moved the month after the election. I just said, screw it, I'm out. And I moved to Mexico in March. I've been here like 7 months now, and I love it. It's fantastic. I wish I had gone a long time ago, but I had a nice house in the United States. I had a nice life, and I didn't see a reason to flee the country, but things changed. And I had a reason to be a little frightened after the election. Um, Not terribly, I'm sure I'd be just fine back in my little house, in my mobile home in the United States, and everything would be great. But the benefit of moving to Mexico is I get a foreign earned income exemption. It's called the FI, yes, whatever. It's an abbreviation, but what it means basically is that for the first $130,000 I make, I am not going to have to pay federal taxes on it. That's amazing. That's really great. However, I didn't get to Mexico until March. I did try to get the to come down sooner because I really wanted to take advantage of this. One of the rules is that you have to be in uh, the foreign country for 10 months out of the year, and I didn't make it. So I am still paying my 35% federal tax and 15% um, self-employment tax for 2025. But in 2026, the federal tax will mostly be gone. And I'm looking forward to that. That's a great benefit of living down here. And on top of not having to pay this crazy huge amount of tax, everything's cheaper here. And there's a lot of other benefits too. Hopefully, I'll be able to go for them. I am putting $5,000 in savings. That's money I owed myself that I borrowed from my savings that I'm putting back in. Putting $2,000 into the business account. If you watched my last video, you know that I don't normally fund the business account from this money. This is money that I make from our main vendor. I usually am able to pay the business expenses from a secondary vendor, but that secondary vendor seems like they're about to go bankrupt and they are not paying me. So I am funding it from that account. I sold my house. I sold my house in the United States. I sold it right before it became impossible to sell a house in the United States. Um, I sold it for 190,000, my mobile home. I bought it for 165,000 and I had paid off a lot. So I walked away with $100,000 from the sale. I think I had put $75,000 into the house and it was a great investment. It went up and yeah, I sold my house. I don't have a house in the United States anymore. I wanted to sell it before we came down, but we didn't. We had an offer and I went ahead and booked everything to get. I was like, great, we sold the house and I was ready to go, but the offer fell through. We had to put a new roof on the house. It was a pain, but after being here 3 months and really sweating it, we managed to sell the house. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. So we rent a house here in Mexico for $700 a month. And I know you're thinking, wow, that's a lot for Mexico, but um, I didn't go too cheap here. Obviously I could have got a house rent for like $400 or whatever, but I didn't want a little tiny postage stamp. I wanted a nice house where I would have my own space, my mom would have her space, and um, we would have security and, you know, so we ended up renting an apartment that has a gate. It's like a terraced house. We share a wall with the neighbor on one side of us, and then we have the other side is open. Oh, excuse me. The other side is a wall of the next house if we go outside. So the house is completely enclosed. We have a back garden. patio area, but everything's enclosed. There's houses on every side. And in the front of the house is the only way to get to it. There is a gate that locks. We could park our car inside the gate in our driveway, and then we can lock the gate. And the gate has spikes on top and broken glass glued to the top of it. And it's really hard to break into it. You'd have to get a saw, and by the time we see you trying to break in, we can get the police here or whatever. But on top of that, once you do break in, if you were to get the buzzsaw and cut open the gate or whatever, which nobody's going to do that, it's not that dangerous down here. Um, Once you were to get through that gate, the house has bars on the windows and bars on all the doors. So you would need to use your saw to get through the bars anyway. And when we saw this, we were like, this is fine. This is safe, because dumb gringos, we all worry about Mexico being dangerous, which it's not. And I feel like it's a myth that the US government puts out to try to keep us from leaving and realizing how much better life is in another country. Um, I say, oh, it's not dangerous, but I have this gate and I have these bars on the windows and the doors. Well, where I live did have a crime boom in the 1990s, and so these things became required. But I honestly feel like they're a relic of a time that's past because I walk around at night. I know all my neighbors. You know, it's quiet, it's safe, and it's really nice. Um, it's really nice living here. I live in a beach town. I'm not going to say which one, but oh, it's perfect for us. It's a big city because we need good medical care. But I'll get into that. Let me continue with my budget here. So my first virtual assistant went up to 1,200 a month in 2025. I gave him a $50 raise. I wish I could have done more, but he understands that things aren't that great. My second virtual assistant didn't get a raise. That's my social media manager. But you know what? She makes more than my programmer every month because she does my graphic design on top of the social media management, and she does really well. So I feel like she doesn't really need a raise because I'm paying her like $35 an hour for the graphics design. And you might say, oh my God, that's really cheap for graphic design. She's 19, she's a high school student, she doesn't have a degree, she's not a professional. She was a high school student. I mean, she graduated high school while working for me. I had no idea this girl was so young when I hired her. She was someone my programmer got me to hire. They're both from overseas. And yeah, $35 an hour is what I pay her, and she lives in Brazil, and she does very well for that, which is good because I know that but the whole page is called Her High Income Budget, but the truth is I could not afford to pay an American to do my programming and do my graphic design and do my social media management. It's true that these people both work part-time for me, but that's the most I can pay them. I am funding my IRA, and you know what? I kind of gave up on I also have a solo 401k because I'm self-employed, and I wanted to invest more in retirement because when I thought I was going to live and retire in the United States, I said, "Oh my God, I need $16,000 a month of income so that when I get old enough to be in a care home, I can get like a really nice one in Malibu because I don't have any children and I don't want to be in a puddle of urine on a mattress." And, I had all these horror thoughts. Doesn't matter, even $5,000 a month, you're going to get bed sores. So I was going crazy trying to save for retirement. But now down here, I don't have that stress anymore. I don't have that worry anymore. Um, for $4,000 a month, $3 or $4,000 a month, I can afford the Gringo retirement home down here that's really, really nice and really takes care of people well. That was one of my phobias in life is that I'm going to end up in a bed in my own urine. That's, you know, the reason I have that fear is because I am my mother's only person and I take care of her, and I have had to take her out of a bed with, soaked in her own urine before when after she had her hip surgery and she was in rehab, and I literally had to carry her out of there. And all I was thinking was if this was me, there is nobody. I had nobody to do that for me. And the woman in the bed beside her, who was also in her own filth, didn't have anybody, and there was nothing, no one, no one to help her. I had my hands full. I don't ever want to be like that. I'm sorry, I know that's depressing, but that's why I go a little crazy with saving for retirement. Um, I don't pay for trash anymore because in Mexico, the government pays for that because they would like their streets to be cleaned and they have pride in that sort of thing. So they don't expect a private company to come and go get your trash. They pick up the trash twice a week and they pay for it. Now, there was a strike, so I don't think they pay well, but we get our trash picked up twice a week for free. Also, not only is it free, they also build these iron boxes on poles for you to put your trash in that's too high for the dogs to get to it. Really nice. Great country. I really love it here. I have $20 for propane, but the truth is it's like $20 twice a year. We just filled up our tank for 400 pesos, which is $20, and it lasted 6 months. So I don't expect to owe another $20 for another 6 months. Also, the electricity here is charged every other month, and it was $165. And I am in Mexico. It's hot down here, and $165 for 2 months of electricity. And we have the air conditionings going all the time. Especially in July, air conditioners were going, but $165. I thought that was amazing. By the way, we have the air conditioner splits, the little wall units that are like built into the wall here. Very nice. But basically, the bedrooms are cold, and if you want the rest of the house to be cold, you just open the bedroom doors. There's no, I mean, the bedrooms are where you need the air conditioning. I like it. I like what they've done here. I'm happy with that. Gold or crypto? Now, let me tell you a little story. We drove down here, and you can't, I wouldn't have been able to import my gold and silver. I had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of 1 ounce coins, and I th there's something like there was a limit, it could get seized, um, or I was gonna have to pay like 20% import tax or something. So I sold my coins and my gold to my brother before I left. So I no longer have any gold or silver. My heart breaks. But you know what would be really stupid to do in Mexico? That would be to have $5,000 worth of gold in your house. Um, because if someone learns of that, even though there's not that much crime here, there are some desperate people. And, why would I entice them? Okay, so I'm done with gold. I'm not done with crypto. Crypto I can keep having. I brought my crypto with me because I have self custody. I snuck it down. They didn't know what it was. And yeah, I'll continue to invest in crypto because I'm an idiot, but No, no, I'm not saying that. I only invest in Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin is a decent thing to keep, especially traveling between countries, because that was a great way to move my wealth. And, you know, I still do believe in Bitcoin. I don't so much in Ethereum or any of the smaller coins, but Bitcoin still is pretty much a safe bet. Internet slash phone. When I was living in the United States, I was like, wow, 55 bucks for internet. What a bargain. Well, my internet here is $25 for the most expensive plan. I mean, it's great, but yes, it's cheap here because the government pushes forward that they wanted everybody to have internet in their house. And so the plans are very cheap, even for people who can afford expensive plans like me, and it's very reliable. And the phone is fun. I got uh, a Mexican phone. It's a very nice phone. I got it from the little Mexican grocery store. Not, it's not little, it's a big grocery store actually, owned by Walmart, as a matter of fact. But anyway, I got my phone, and then I was like, okay, let me set up auto pay with my bank account. Yeah, right. Well, I don't have a bank account down here because I am a temporary resident right now and I don't have a tax ID number. And I could get a tax ID number, but then they'd want to know why I'm not paying taxes. And my terms of employment here, my terms of residency here are that I cannot work, and I cannot do banking in Mexico where I'm getting money from the United States that I don't intend on paying Mexican taxes on. And right now, my business is all still banked in the United States, and I'm still paying United States taxes. Um, if I do any business here, I will most certainly pay Mexican taxes, but right now that's illegal for me because I am a temporary resident and I do not have a right to work here. I am a temporary resident for 4 years. I will I start off with 1 year and I will renew that next February for 3 years. And after those 3 years, then I will be able to renew it for permanent residency. And I would be able to work here or even transfer my business over here. But I prefer to keep my accounts in the United States. I mean, number one, I don't have to pay federal taxes on the first $130,000 I make. And number two, um, I would like to uh, keep contributing to my Social Security and trying to keep the average income, the 35 years of average income higher than what it is, so that hopefully I will get a higher payout eventually. What I mean is, I believe it's your Social Security is determined by your highest 35 years, or maybe the highest 40 years or 30 years. I don't remember exactly how many, but when I calculated, I have some very low years in my work history, and I would like to spend the next 12 years getting rid of those low years and replacing it with my high income amounts and hopefully, you know, get a high Social Security, because the fact of the matter is, I can now live on Social Security here. Um, my neighbor, who I'm very close with, she's a dear friend. He lives on $435 a month. Her mortgage is $100 a month. She has a car, and she has two daughters and high school kids. And her husband works odd construction jobs and and other odd work he can find. And I said to her, her daughter actually started working for me, doing a little bit of graphic design on the side as an intern. Her daughter speaks English, and I speak Spanish now also. I was studying Spanish before we came down here. I think it was fate. I had started taking Spanish classes on the treadmill like 5 years ago. So I had a good base, and then I came down here and I do speak it sort of fluently. I'm still learning. I keep taking classes, but taking the classes while having to speak it is really, I mean, I know everybody says it, you'll learn the language fast when you live there. Yeah, you really do. If you are taking classes and trying to speak Spanish, you pick up the language so fast. And I'm ashamed that I'm still kind of fumbling, but you know what? I'm getting really good. I'm getting better. I was able to have a phone call in Spanish the other day, and the phone is where I freak out. The phone and through drive-throughs. I just freak out, but I was able to go through the drive-through and order. I was able to talk on the phone. These are this is great. I was really happy with that. Anyway, um, my neighbor, like I said, she lives on around 435 a month, and I am spending a lot on groceries here. Probably what she makes for a whole month is what I spend on groceries because I'm a spoiled American fat ass. And okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be offensive, but yeah, I'm a spoiled American and I like to eat. And I was taking her daughter out for ice cream, and I asked the daughter, she said, "Oh, good, we just had dinner. I'll go and go get ice cream with you." Now, by taking the daughter out for ice cream, I mean I walked out of my house, walked over to her house. We share a wall with her house. We're very close. And I said, "Hey, you want to go get some ice cream?" And she said, "Yes." And then we walked to the ice cream parlor because in Mexico there is no zoning. So the ice cream parlor is down on the corner from me, and the pharmacy is around another corner from me. And you know, I can walk to so many different places here. There's a butcher. There's two pharmacies within walking distance, and there's also Oxos, which are little convenience stores on every corner, which is good because you can't pay your phone like it's not easy to pay your phone, okay? For me, anyway, I don't have a Mexican bank account. I have a Wise account, which is an international account, which has been a godsend, because that's how I pay my rent. But I don't have a Mexican bank account. Well, how do I pay my phone? I walk to the OXXO, I give them my phone number, and pay my phone in cash. And sometimes I forget, and then I run out of minutes. But I'm like, when I first got the phone, I was like, "Do you have a monthly plan?" And they're like, "No, just pay as you go." And I was like, "Can't you just charge me like $50 a month like my American phone?" But honestly, I put 20 bucks on the phone and that lasts me like 3 months. Um, my internet is the same company as my phone company. And again, I have a phone number for my internet and I can go to the OXXO and pay my phone bill and my internet bill in cash with at the cashier, and it's crazy. But no, the internet bill, I am actually able to go to the website and pay it. I don't know why I can't do the same for my phone. Um, there is a screen on there for me to pay it, but it all has all these graphics and text, and I could probably try again now that my Spanish is better, but I was pretty lost. And I was like, I can walk right to the corner, like literally. It's not even a 5 minute walk. It's like 80 steps to the OXXO and I could pay my phone bill. Okay, but I'm sorry, I'm dragging this on. But anyway, I asked my neighbor's daughter, "What are you eating for dinner?" Because I was thinking, I'm wasting so much money on groceries and they're getting by on 435 a month. What am I doing wrong? So I figured she must be eating beans and um, cactus every night. And she said, "Oh, we're having breaded beef." And I was like, your family lives on 435 a month and you're able to have beef? Yeah, so they know what they're doing. They do things right. And I need to learn from the pros. Anyway, moving on. My entertainment budget is 250. Credit card recurring charges bring me up to 1,000. I don't have an HOA anymore. Hooray! The water bill is like $10 every other month. Like it's like the electric, they only charge it every other month. I am not putting any money in investments. I was paying $300 a month for well, let me see how much I was paying. Uh, Medical, 250 a month. I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you what that was all about. That was for pain medication because I had bone cancer in my leg and I had to get a rod screwed into my leg and a big giant bone tumor taken out. And this guy butchered the hell out of my leg. And I have nerve damage and I need to take tramadol for my nerve damage. In the United States, they're like, no, don't take tramadol. Do physical therapy. I did physical therapy. It didn't work, and I ended up injuring my back because they were like, no, no, it'll work. Just try harder. And it didn't work because it's nerve damage. And in the United States, tramadol is a narcotic, and you have to go through pain management, at least in my side of the country, and do urine tests in front of a woman and uh, answer questions and have a sponsor who says that you're not a drug addict and basically be humiliated and overcharged for something that you need to be able to walk. And in Mexico, it's Tylenol. They treat tramadol like Tylenol. It's an over the counter drug. And when I order my groceries, I can order tramadol with my groceries. And that's another wonderful thing about living here because I have to take 300 milligrams of tramadol a day so that I'm able to walk and not be in hideous pain and be able to sleep at night. That's another thing, it's extremely painful. And here I have two pharmacies in walking distance. And the other day I bought two little packets of tramadol and they said, oh, if you buy a third one, you'll get a free pack on top of that. I'm like, wow, God bless this wonderful country. My life is a lot easier here and I don't have to pay 250 a month to pee in front of somebody. I'm sorry. I know I'm very dark this month, but I'm just so happy that is over with and that it's just uphill here. It's not something that people are freaking out about. God bless Mexico. Thank you so much. Nothing for the lean month. I was on Ozempic in the United States. It just stopped working. I'm trying Monjarno, which is the terpazitide or whatever you call it. It's the double Ozempic, and I was off it for since we left the United States. I was off of Ozempic because it just wasn't working for me anymore. And I am trying Monjarno. This is the first month I'm trying it, and it's damned expensive. But what are you gonna do? Um, so far, it doesn't seem to really be working for me. I don't know if I just am immune to this type of medicine now, but I'll give it a shot. In the United States, I paid $250 a month to have my house deep cleaned once a month. In Mexico, I pay $150 a month to have my house cleaned every other week, so twice a month. Really nice. And do you know who does my housekeeping? That same neighbor whose daughter works for me. I said, hey, do you know anybody who cleans houses? And she said, yeah, me, let's do this. And I'm like, hey, you go. And she's been our housekeeper. Food is about $4.50 a month if I don't go to Sam's Club. There's a lot of gringos in this town, and they have the gringo vices here, you know. Gas is $25 a month. It's not cheaper here for gas, but we just don't drive as much here because we can walk to most places, you know. I think I drive somewhere probably once or twice a month. Speaking of the medical, I did want to say that when I came down here, um, in June on the day after my 50th birthday, I had my uterus removed because it's very diseased and had softball-sized tumors. And you could see it under my clothes, and it made me very self-conscious. And also, it was precancerous because my family has Lynch syndrome, and my mother had a very aggressive uterus cancer, and I had the exact same symptoms she had before she had her cancer, which is gigantic fibroids, ovarian cysts. Uh, what was the trifecta? The ovarian cysts. Just ovarian cysts and the fibroids. So I knew I had to get my uterus out at some point, and I didn't. I kept putting off the United States because I knew it was going to cost more than my $12,000 deductible, that it would max it out. That's what my Obamacare insurance would have cost to get my uterus out in the United States. It would be um, a 100% max out of my $12,000 deductible. In Mexico, I went to a private hospital and I got everything done for $5,000 and I was treated like a celebrity. I was treated like how you imagine Britney Spears is treated when she goes to the hospital. It was a fantastic experience and cheaper for the private medical care here. This is not the public care that I think I can technically get for free. I'm not really sure, but I don't want to impose on that system. But yeah, that was great. And I'm much happier here. I have friends here. I have less stress here. I have less expenses, and I'm a lot happier. I could probably go on, but I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Oh, wait, no, there's one more thing. So, this is what my retirement is looking like. I have my HSA, that's a health savings account we have in the United States. My IRA is up to 92,000. My solo 401k, I'm not contributing to that anymore, but it's up to 28,000. I have 21,000 in stocks, 16,577 in crypto, 205,000 in cash, and I know I should invest or do something with that, but I don't know. Things seem so unsure right now. So I just have it in a high interest savings account. It was like $100,000, but I sold my house and that's the extra $100,000 now. That's great. So I have a total of 371,000 um, in wealth, and I'm not too stressed out about saving for retirement anymore in Mexico because even if I did like early retirement at 62, um, that's $2,100 a month, and that is a good life here. That is a upper middle class life here. So I'm still putting in my IRA, and that's about it. And I don't know if I'm going to buy a house here right now as a temporary residence. It would be complicated to buy it. I think the realtor said I had to buy it as a overseas investor until I get my permanent residency. So right now we're just going to rent for a few years at least. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, renting seems nice. It's pretty cheap. Um, we'll see where the winds take us. I don't know if I'm going to keep updating this blog also. I guess if anybody reads this or listens to me, maybe I will. But for now, that's it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.